All right, I know when it comes to money, money can manifest fast, but when you have behaviors that you've grown up within, like, stuff that you saw in your childhood and
Yeah. Hard not to believe what you've been seeing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that causes you to react a certain type of way. So in that moment when you're about to react to something, does it change just as fast? Like when let's say I want $5,000, I want 10,000, it can happen like that. But in the process of behavior, it doesn't happen that fast. Is it constantly something that you're working on, or can it happen just as fast as like?
Well, here's the thing. You're going to like this. It happens instantaneously, vibrationally. But then you want to say, come on, Abraham, how do I get the money out of the vortex and into the bank? In other words, I'll play your silly game and accept that there is a vibrational reality, but the guy at the bank doesn't want to know about that. He wants the funds to be in my account, Abraham. So how do I turn this vibration into something that's tangible? How does the vibration turn to thoughts? How do the thoughts turn to things? How does it become tangible? Well, you're translating it. So there is this vibrational currency. Can't spend it yet. You could feel good about it, but you can't spend it yet. If you're looking at the bank account where it isn't yet, and you don't feel good, it's not coming.
Yes.
If you look at the bank account where it isn't, and you notice that it hasn't been there for a long time, and you know a lot of people where it hasn't been there, in fact, as long as you can remember, not enough money has been what you've been hearing, then it's not coming. Not yet. It's there. The potential is there, but the movement toward the reality has not really begun. Now, once you get in the right vibration, it comes really fast. But as long as you stay not in the right vibration, then it doesn't come. So the timing has nothing to do with anything except your mood about it.
So
And
that's basically the same thing with a relationship then, or with behaviors.
with everything. With everything. That's the part that most people don't realize, because you don't realize that you are turning the intangible to the tangible. You are receiving the clue, the impulse to go there, to do that, to be there, to see that.
I've experienced that, on the financial side, just where stuff just boom, boom. I've even had thoughts of when I do something, I'll be like, okay, this person's gonna say these exact same words when I perform this type of project or do this, and it's been said. But just, I guess, the momentum in the other areas of, trying to change my behavior and different things that have happened is probably what I keep focusing on and not focusing on the other part of what actually is, the now.
It's really helpful when you do exactly what you're doing right now. When you start noticing the correlation between what you've been thinking and how you've been feeling and what's manifesting. So when you focus on the things where it really has been working, and you think, well, what were the components? Well, I wasn't worried about it.
Exactly.
I wasn't blameful. I wasn't justifying it. I had this light desire that I wasn't complicating or contradicting with negative thought. And so the ideas just came and it unfolded easily. But the things like money or relationships, or in some cases physical well-being, because they matter so much, you think about them a lot. And because you think about them a lot from a lackful place, those are the sticking points for most. Many people say, why is it that the things I don't care that much about just come easily into my experience? But the things I really care about, it takes a longer time. And we say, because the things you really care about, you think about too much from the point of view of not having. Let's stay here just for a moment. So turning thoughts to things. So how does reality happen anyway? Your eyes are translators of vibration. That's why you see. Your ears are translators of vibration. That's why you hear. So you're already translating vibration. Your emotions are translating vibration. That's why you feel the emotions that you do. So as you're thinking about translating the vibration of this vortex, this intangible vortex, the first tangible indication that the movement has begun is the emotion that you feel. So when you feel negative emotion, it means you're summoning it, it's moving, but you're also blocking it. So if you just stop and say to yourself, it's coming, I can feel it coming. Because if it weren't coming, you wouldn't be feeling anything.
So you're saying you're summoning something, or you're summoning it? Or are you summoning?
Well, we're talking about the it that you want.
Okay.
Because everything that you feel is about the it that you want.
Exactly.
Because the it that you want has everything you want about it on one end and the complete absence of it on the other. So every it is really two subjects, the wanted end and the not wanted end. How about that? So it's coming, but the way you feel is really about whether you're letting it come easily or whether you're letting it come hard. Because it's coming. It is coming. It just doesn't need to be the struggle that you all make it out to be. So think about why sometimes you want to make it a struggle. Everybody doesn't have it, so you want to make it look hard. Otherwise, the haters will hate you. Think about those people that are really successful at whatever they're doing, and they always tell that bogus story of how hard it was, the price they paid. And we want to shout from the background, but when you stopped paying the price, it came, right? But they leave that part out. And so as you realize that the first indication that movement is underway is when you start feeling around it. If you're not feeling any emotion, it's not active enough to be a player in your experience at all. We just love it when you have strong desire, whether you feel positive or negative. We would far rather you feel terrible, strong, negative emotion than to not feel anything. Because that means you're alive and you've put things in your vortex and it's calling you. Your inner being is calling you toward them, calling you, and you got to go. If you don't go, you'll always be uncomfortable. And so that call is calling, that call is calling, that call is calling, that call is calling. So as you follow those impulses, the impulse, it's going to come first as a thought that feels like it comes out of nowhere. And accompanying the thought is going to be an emotion that is representative of how much resistance you've got. Well, it really doesn't matter how much resistance you've got because it's calling you. It does not matter how much resistance is there. The resistance will dissipate. And the more you notice how this works and the more you relax and allow it to work, the more you trust the process, the more you believe in the process, the less you doubt yourself, the less you doubt the process, the more you believe, the more you understand that everyone who has ever accomplished anything magnificent, this is exactly what happened. They got into that place, and if you watch those who are great in whatever they're great at, you'll notice that they are not willing to stand around and listen to people talk about what will not work. They don't want to hear that. And even if somebody is saying it, they're not listening to it. They're always listening for what does work, you see. You just tune yourself to it. And little by little, those beliefs that have been holding you back lose their grip. You see, you can't dig in and get those beliefs and ferret them out and stomp on them and destroy them. You just have to let them become less active and more dormant, less active and more dormant. So it's about what you are thinking about, not about what you are no longer thinking about. Because when you try not to think about it, you're thinking about it. So it's about deciding what you are going to think about. And if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would be deciding what we're going to think about by one criteria and one criteria only. How does it feel? How does it feel? Does this thought feel better than this thought? In the beginning, if all thought about it feels uncomfortable, then become more vague about it, become more general about it, become less specific about it. Because in your specific attention to the absence of it, you've got quite a bit of momentum going. So you've got to slow that momentum down by getting more vague, more general. And then it just sort of dissipates, while what you do want becomes more active in your vibration. And while that's happening, then things are happening. The universe is showing you all kinds of clues. You get these impulses. You have these rendezvous. Someone that you meet maybe for 3 minutes in an elevator gives you information that you needed. A friend calls you that you haven't talked to in a very long time. All kinds of things come into being. There are a minimum of 200 potential things ready to pop for you in every moment you live. A minimum of 200 viable avenues to something that you want. But if you're in that place of beating the drum, then it's like you've got your tuner completely tuned off, completely turned off. It's like being an airplane in the fog with the ability to know where you are, but you just say, oh, never mind, I'm just turning everything off. I'll just fly blind. We say, not such a good idea.